Hello everybody, Reaper X1 here again. You know what, we've been spending quite a bit of time in the R&D recently and we've been having some fun with it. But today we're going to get back to working on something that's for NeuTecha, and it was suggested too. And I think it's a really good idea because, well, we got trees and all that to be our defenses. And we got like a couple of things here and there to pick up blocks. But none of them really blend in with the scenery to help it make it look nice. It's all like turrets and stuff like that. So the suggestion was, and I was kind of thinking of other ways to add in skews. I was thinking of adding to the trees, but the suggestion was to make a rock. A skew rock. So that's what we're going to get up to. So give your rock! Now I want to use that because it's got the biggest radius. But with all that yellow right there and having to leave it so open, it makes it kind of tricky. So we're going to just build along, see what we can do with it. And if it turns out to be looking nice, we'll go with it. And yeah, I also want to be able to charge its buddies. Any allies in the area. The hardest part is to keep it as small as possible. Easy to anchor. And self-sufficient, hopefully. So that's why we got that many solar gens under it. And we're going to load it up with as many batteries as possible. But then to keep it compact, that's the next challenge. So we're just going to kind of mess around in here. We got it all shielded. We'll lay things down, make them look nicer. Hopefully we can get everything where we want it. Might not use that skew though. I don't know. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Because it's going to be hopefully a nice gray rock, and then you're going to see a big chunk of yellow on top. I kind of like the black and gray. They kind of make more sense, even though you don't see too many black parts into a rock. At least I don't. Maybe there's rocks out there like that. But gray and black rocks, I have not seen many. So we might be down to only one wireless charger, but that's better than nothing. It's got a heck of a reach on it. Maybe something like there. Might have to make it a little bigger. I didn't really want it to be symmetrical, but I do kind of at the same time. Just so it can hopefully be easy to anchor. And, oh yeah, that's what I was forgetting. There we are. Now it can even defend itself a little bit. Yeah. So usually it's something like this. It's good to start trying to be, or being symmetrical, and then after you figure out the internals, you can make the outside look like what you want. Since this is going to anchor, it's not really meant to be driven around too much. It's not going to fly. Nothing crazy like that. It shouldn't be too big of a task to make it good and functional. But see, right in here is where it's getting a little I don't know. Maybe we'll put it like that. Yeah, that seems like it might be a decent idea. Maybe we'll put that like so. That like so. And we'll get that in there. Yeah, there we are. That's looking better. Yeah, that's the important thing. As long as it has a rotating turret, it should be okay. A little there, like that. Oh, a little more. Yep. Try and keep the lines to a minimum. Yeah, that's not too shabby at all, I don't think. I don't know, that yellow on top, though, is really throwing me. I don't know if I care for that much. It's going to force me to make it bigger just to try and hide as much of it as I can. I don't know if I want to do that. Like for most things, you know, you got to fart around with it. You got to pick this off, put that on 100 million times, or maybe less, hopefully less, just to get it to what you want. So now I was thinking this is kind of kind of good. But that yellow's throwing it for me. I don't know. Yeah, that'll still shoot with that. What about that? No, not happening there. We'll put them in. Try and reduce the attach points as much as possible. Like so. Get some lights in there. Yeah. There we go. Put some wheels on it. And at least if we have to, we can maneuver a little bit, drive into position. Those wheels aren't the greatest, so let's use treads. That's better. Now, I wouldn't be trying to climb any mountains or nothing crazy like that with it, but it'll at least work. Now, see, well, that's pretty decent there. There's a little difference by like a radius of 3 squares, it looks like. But I think that's doable. We can manage with that. So now we can kind of fiddle around with it. We'll get things all put back under there. And now we can lower it down a bit. But this does have me thinking. If I was to put skews way up in the air, would they work? I think they would. Now this is a suggestion me and probably a bunch of others, I can't remember all the people that have suggested stuff like this. But to have the area of effect for skews to be consistent no matter how high they are. So if it's up high, it's still the same circle on the ground that it can pick up from. So it's got me wondering now, is it still the case? Now that looks a little more like a rock to me. I think that should do okay. It drives alright. Not too much to get stuck on it. Should be able to collect everything. But let's just try out the theory. We'll build up as tall as we can. Put a thing on there. Well, I guess that's as high as we go with that one. Alright. Yep, it picks it. Now that ain't the biggest circle it can do, but that's a pretty good start. It's kind of hard to throw blocks way out there when you're dropping them. So there, I even learned something new today. I like that. Now, if I didn't have all the ridges on that, it would work better, but you know, you build it appropriately and it'll work great. Like, look at that. It doesn't care how high it is. I'm liking that. So now I've gotten some new ideas, maybe. We'll have to see how they play out in another video. But this is what we get, and we're rocking now. So I guess from there, until that next time, just keep being the awesome. Wait for it. Keep having a good one. Bye.